My name is Dr. Rachel Gold. I'm a clinical psychologist who has a passion for helping people in their journey towards eating disorder recovery. I'm creating these videos for people who are in recovery from their eating disorder or dieting disorder, and I'm also creating this content for people that help people recover, so dietitians, psychologists, therapists, and so forth. Today I'm going to be talking about an important topic around overhauling your wardrobe, which is something that is, I believe, a helpful thing to do when you're starting or in your eating disorder recovery process. Don't forget to like my video, and also don't forget to subscribe if you'd like to be kept up to date with new videos. So one of the first questions when discussing a client's wardrobe and clothing is, I like to understand what underwear they're wearing. Now, bear with me. What I find is that a lot of people hang on to underpants from a time where they were in a smaller body, or they're waiting until they have kind of the perfect body before they buy themselves nice underwear, including underpants and bras. So often when I ask my clients, they're wearing underwear that makes them feel uncomfortable, like the elastic is too tight, or they're worn and have holes in them, and it's a constant reminder for them that they're not deserving of wearing comfortable undergarments. The other thing that happens when you're not wearing underwear and bras that don't fit you well is that you're constantly being prompted during the day about this fact. So it's a constant reminder that you're not feeling comfy in your body. I suggest that if you are an owner of ill-fitting and worn underwear, you need to chuck it out. Go down to, one of the department stores and buy yourself some nice, comfortable, well-fitted undergarments, and notice how that impacts your quality of life and your preoccupation with your body. The other thing that I find is that often people hang on to clothes that don't fit them anymore. Now, this might be because they have clothes from when they were skinnier or at a lower body weight, and there's that, even if they've starting to engage in the recovery process, there's that kind of hope that one day I'm going to fit into these skinny clothes. Or sometimes what people do is when they get to a really low body size, they then finally allow themselves to go out and buy the nice clothes or designer clothes that they wanted to buy. And so they're really loath to throw this stuff out because it's money, or it reminds them of a time where they felt like they were finally wearing sort of good clothes and want to get back to that time. And I would suggest that if you're really going to embrace recovery, you need to accept your body as it is in recovery. And having ill-fitting clothes or clothes that are too small in your wardrobe, it's almost like every time you open your wardrobe, they're looking at you in an accusatory way and saying critical comments to you. You need to release those clothes, put them back into the world, because otherwise they're dictating how you feel about yourself and whether you're, good enough. In terms of people who have been really underweight or had a restrictive eating disorder, I would even say that those clothes are sick clothes. They were never meant to fit you. They were never meant to be something in your wardrobe, and they need to go. And if they are in good repair, you can sell them online, you can donate them, you can bring them to your therapist and we can deal with it for you. You can cut them up and make them into something else right now. A face mask is a helpful idea, but it's time to get rid of those painful reminders that continue to bring you back to not feeling good enough in the body that you're in now. Another thing that people sometimes do is part of their kind of checking of their body shape and size when they're anxious about gaining weight is have a particular item of clothing that they use to check themselves. So often that's, a tight pair of jeans or a pair of shorts or something that's quite structured. And where it's kind of like weighing yourself. It's another way to check your body. And what it does is that if you continue to do this, it keeps you preoccupied with your body weight and shape, and creates, sometimes if you're fitting into those checking clothes, it can create a sense of relief. But more often than not, it continues to make you feel crap and make you focus on your body weight and shape. So I would really recommend identifying, if you do any body checking by trying on clothes, identify what those clothes are and get rid of them, get them out of your wardrobe. You don't need them in your life. The other thing that I would suggest is that if you are in the process of recovery, whether it be from a restrictive eating disorder where you might need to regain some weight, or even if you're experiencing a more of a binge type disorder or binge purge, is that it's really important to have clothes that are comfortable now and clothes that feel nice now. So slopping around in, an old baggy t-shirt and pants that aren't comfortable and well-fitting, it's not going to make you feel good about yourself, and that's going to affect your mood. The other thing is that if the clothes are not stretchy or not comfortable, when your body is increasing in size or fluctuating while you try to stabilize your eating patterns, you're going to be reminded by the clothes pulling on parts of your body. For example, digging into your tummy or your hips or, your arms or something like that. So I'd really set yourself up for success by having some nice clothes in good repair that are going to be able to accommodate your body as it changes or as it fluctuates as you try to stabilize your weight and your health. The other thing people tend to fixate on when they have an eating disorder or concerned about their body weight and shape is the actual number on the label. And it's really understandable, but it's extremely unhelpful. We know that these numbers are not consistent across brands, and also these numbers and sizes don't actually reflect what's normal in our society. So it might feel terrifying to go up a dress size in a certain brand, but it's better that you get something that fits you well as opposed to trying to fit a number, because it's just so scary to be a number, say, that's in double digits. The other thing is that with sizes is that realistically, the way in which our fashion industry provides sizes to women in particular is that at the top of kind of the straight size range is actually the average for Australian women. So the average Australian woman is a size 14 to 16, but that's seen as kind of at the higher end of normal sizes, when that just doesn't actually make any sense. It's sort of shaming people who are in the average and making them feel inadequate. And then we have all these other people who are in, really kind of normal bodies for our society who are having to buy clothes that are plus size. It's just pretty uncool, really, by the fashion industry, and it perpetuates and it fuels this idea that if you live in a bigger body, you're not normal and you're not acceptable. So I'd really encourage people to really question sizes and how just useless and unreliable they are, but also to know that this is another structure in our society that makes us feel crap about ourselves, and you don't need to buy into that. I think, in the more recent years, there's been some really nice progress into having more inclusive sizing for the typical bodies that we have in our society. So there's a lot of brands that now have curve or plus size, but even then, I don't know why it needs to have a fancy label to differentiate it when it's just a body size that they're finally waking up and realizing, people need to buy that size. It's just smart business. I don't see why they don't just do it as par for the course. It's just normal. Another way that people are impacted by the fashion industry is the idea that you need to have a certain type of body or a certain body size, weight and shape to wear certain items of clothing. And I think a lot of people hold back from really expressing their creativity through their fashion choices because they feel like their body's not the acceptable size. And what I really would encourage people to try is to let go of this message that you need to look a certain way to wear a certain item of clothing. Whatever body you're in, you should consider wearing the clothes that you feel expresses who you are. I think sometimes people who are not feeling comfortable in their body go for baggy clothes or darker clothes, when if you want to wear colorful things or, you know, styles that would normally be advertised on a smaller body size, then I think you should go for it. It's about making yourself feel the way and look the way and express yourself in a way that feels like authentic and real to you. You know, we're not all meant to look a certain way and wear clothing the same way. Like, it's just, you know, diversity is the norm, difference is the norm. So, you know, embracing your own personal style and expressing it can be really positive. It can make you feel more like you're being your true self and authentic, and it also gives you an opportunity to get some nice feedback. I think people often imagine that if they do something that feels a little bit outside the norms, like wearing really colourful clothes in a bigger body, they think that people are going to make all these negative judgments and respond in a negative way, which I think it's really helpful to do that and then have some really nice feedback, because most people are genuinely really nice. So thank you so much for letting me share my ideas about how to overhaul your wardrobe in your eating disorder recovery journey. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please subscribe and like this video. You can also follow me on Instagram and Facebook. And yeah, thank you so much for listening, and I hope you have a wonderful day.